Goldman Sachs Technology and Internet Conference is underway in San Francisco, where investors and tech leaders are discussing the IPO pipeline, M&A, and investment opportunity. Our Deirdre Bosa is there now at the conference with Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon. Deirdre, take it away.
Sarah, thank you for that. And David, thanks for having us again this year.
Delighted to have you here. Delighted to be here with you.
Well, so the IPOs obviously are front and center. You guys advised Casper. It went from a more than $1 billion valuation to about a third of that today. So what kind of message is that sending to money-losing companies looking to IPO?
Well, there's no question that the market is shifting in terms of looking for earnings and looking for sustainable earnings as we bring IPOs to market. I think some of the momentum that was really driving kind of an ethos of growth at any cost has definitely subsided. And so people are clearly looking to understand the path to profitability or clear profitability in these businesses. I also think direct-to-consumer, omnichannel businesses have a much, much tougher slog. And that's a very, very competitive space. So it's different for different spaces, but that's an example of one where they're going to have to build from here.
So when they're coming to a Goldman and they're looking for perhaps their last private market valuation, do you have to get real and tell them that's just not what the market's looking for right now?
I've talked a bunch about this over the course of the last few months, because the IPO process has a different kind of transparency these days with all the private capital that's raised. If you think back a decade, 20 years ago, there was very little visibility on these companies before they went and started talking to banks about going public. Today, you've got private capital meshing with public capital. Private valuations are set because an investor sometimes makes an investment in a company, and the process of going public is one where banks sit down with companies and they really diligence their numbers, they really think about the future, they think about what investors will want and demand, and sometimes that's not in sync, and so there's a process that has to grind through to get companies to a place where the market will accept them in the public markets.
SoftBank and its $100 billion vision fund has been behind a lot of the biggest valuations, and Masasan is quite a polarizing figure here in the Valley. What are you hearing here at the conference? Has the conversation around him and his investing credibility changed?
Well, I really haven't heard a lot about Masasan at the conference. No, what's been great about being at the conference, we've got about 2,000 people here, about 1,600 investors, and there's an array of companies, that are here presenting. And so in the time that I've been here today, I've had an opportunity to talk to a handful of CEOs, listen to people talk about what's going on in their business. I just spent time interviewing Andy Jassy, who was talking about Amazon Web Services and transition to the cloud and the impact it's having on business broadly. And so most of my focus has really been taking the opportunity to listen to our clients, tell me about what's going on in their business and how technology is evolving their business platforms.